Hey everybody, it's another Friday with attorney Ashley Goggins. I am here at Ashley Goggins Law for another edition of our Free Game Friday. If you are a father, a mother, you're just an informed member of society that wants to share this out with any fathers or mothers or parents that you know, go ahead and click the share button. I appreciate all the love, the comments, the likes. Thank you. Keep it going. Keep sharing. If you have any questions, I do this every Friday. Go to www.freegamefriday.com. This is just for educational purposes. Submit your questions, and I'm happy to come here every Friday and answer those questions for you. I'm going to go ahead and take the time to share this out on my page. Let me know where you're tuning in from as you all come in. We have a question today, a little different. This week we have a question from a mom. We have a question for a mom, and I am sharing this out right now. Let's see. There we go. Shared. All right. So let's get straight into the question. Again, freegamefriday.com. You can always submit your questions there to be answered. I go through them, sift through them. If I can answer more than one per episode, I will be sure to answer your questions. I promise. I take pride in doing this for you all. Love the community, love all of the feedback. So keep it going, keep sharing this out. Let me know if you have any feedback. I want to hear it. So our question for today is it possible for me, the mother, to be ordered to pay the father child support if I make more money than him? Again, is it possible for me, the mother, to be ordered to pay the father child support if I make more than him? If you are a mom and you are watching this, go ahead and say, I'm a mom of 1, 2, 3, 4. How many children you have? Let me know. I'm a mom of. If you are a father, go ahead and put in the comments and let me know. I am a father of blank, 2 little girls, 1 little boy, 1 on the way. I want to know, so let me know in the comments if you're a parent and who you are a parent of, a son or a daughter. So let's get into it. Is it possible for this mom to be ordered to pay child support? Yes, it is possible for a mother to be ordered to pay child support. Yes, absolutely. The parents are equal. If the father ends up gaining not joint custody, if he gains a majority time sharing, in Florida it's time sharing, with the children or the child, if she makes more than him, then absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. In Florida, the child support is based on guidelines. Those guidelines are based on the income of both the mother and the father, okay? Both the mother and the father. So if one parent makes more than the other, then that tells you, okay, so let's say I'm at $75,000 and the father, he has no job. Let's say the father's no job. The father has been taking care of the children. He's been a stay-at-home dad. He picks the children up from school. He takes them to school. He goes to Donut Day, Thanksgiving luncheons during Thanksgiving time. He's always there. He helps them with his homework. And so he doesn't have a job. He's not working because he's been the primary caretaker. What will happen is we will impute income to the father. That means that we will say that he is able-bodied and has the ability to work. If he does, we'll impute minimum wage to him. Minimum wage, okay? So we'll impute minimum wage to him. So let's say he makes about $20,000 a year and you make $75,000 a year. You guys are going to be unbalanced. Now, when we're doing the guidelines, we're going to look at how many kids you have. Okay, how many kids do you have? Based on how many kids you have and the incomes combined for both of you all, we'll know how much money based on both of the incomes it will take to take care of the children if you guys were still together or still married. There's a chart. That's how it works. We start with that chart. Then once we get that amount, so let's say it takes about $1,500. Let's just say it takes about $1,500 to take care of this child that you all have together. $1,500. Now that $1,500 that it takes based on your incomes that you have to take care of that child, you're going to get some deductions, okay? The deductions are split based on the parental obligation of both parents. Now this is where the time sharing comes into play. So let's say the father is going to have the children 60% of the time, and the mother is going to have the children 40% of the time. If the child daycare is $100, mom is going to have to pay $60, father is going to have to pay $40. That is going to be the share. Does everybody understand that portion? Okay? That's basically, hypothetically, how the child support guidelines. So if you're making more and the father has the children more than you, then yes, there is a high chance that you will have to pay child support. Now, if the roles were reversed and you made more, but you had the children more, then you won't be obligated, probably not, to pay if you have the children more. And your share is going to determine that. How much time you have with the child is going to determine whether you pay or not. But mothers can pay child support just like fathers can. Fathers can have majority time sharing just like mothers can have majority time sharing. Does anybody have any questions about that? Now, I see there's some moms on here. There's some dads on here. If you're a mom or you're a dad, let me know in the comments that you're a mom, that you're a dad, so that I can know who's tuning in. And I want to know about your babies. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is when we're talking about how much time each parent has with the child. I get a lot of questions about sole custody, majority time sharing, majority custody. Everything is really honestly based on a case-by-case basis. You literally have to look at so many different factors. Each situation is so different. What we look at structure, we look at the best interest of the child, we look at stability, we look at how the parent has parented in the past, we look at their social environment, we look at their housing, we look at the income disparities, we look at how the parent took care of the child before, we look at the schooling. I mean, we look at so many different things in making our argument. Oh, congratulations, new mommy. I did not know that. Congratulations. We look at so many different factors. So every case is super, super unique. What I will say is that fathers, how can I say this? I feel like fathers tend to not want to get the courts involved. And I feel like the fathers get involved when it's too late. Our fathers get involved when there's a sense of urgency, something has happened. The mother does not want the father to see the child. She's keeping him away. And I really honestly feel like if fathers took the time to get their rights early on, now this is if they did not, if they're not married, okay? So if you're not married to the mother at the time that your child is born, then you don't have any rights. Not in Florida. You don't really have any rights. So she can do what she wants to do as she pleases with the child because by law, unfortunately, that is her child. So if you're not going to commit to the mother and the relationship and the union between you, the mom, and the child, and make you all a family by getting married, if you're not going to do that, at least commit to the child. When I say commit to the child, that means go get your rights because you don't have any rights. Don't wait until the child is 10, 16, 17, 13, 3, 2, whatever. Establish them and make that commitment early on so that you don't have to be on the defense down the line when something happens. So what I found is I see that a lot of fathers, they have to always play defense and they're never on the offense because they wait on something to happen, you know? But if you start early on or if you start when things are good, it's almost like getting a prenup. When people get prenups, they in love. They happy. Right? They're in love. They happy. We're about to get married. Everything is going to be cool. We're splitting everything 50-50. Life is good. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this. I feel the same way about paternity rights. I feel like in the beginning when you all are just having the baby, you love each other so much, you should go do your parenting plan right then. When everything's all good, she agrees to 50-50. She wants you to have just as much rights. And just like Miss Nicole Renee said, mandatory visitation. Okay? You get a week, I get a week. You know, if something goes down, you all can still live together. Because I have plenty of people that come to me, and I think it's so smart, come to me while they're still living together and everything is good. Now, this is if you're not married at the time you have the child, because something may happen down the line. The relationship may break apart. The relationship may just deteriorate. And as the relationship deteriorates, unfortunately, sometimes people use the children as leverage. And the children, I'm not blaming this only on the mother, because the children can be used as leverage on both sides. The children can be used as leverage on both sides. The father can do the same as the mother. So I just feel like when everybody is in their right, I feel like, I don't want to say right mind. I just say when everybody love each other. I feel like we should separate assets when we love each other, when we're about to go down the aisle, as well as when we're bringing new life into the world. So I just want you all to just think about the co-parenting relationship. I always say that the co-parenting relationship is one of the most important relationships that you will ever have, at least for 18 years, okay? And sometimes you have to put your egos aside. Everybody want to play offense, but sometimes we got to just be jointly on the same team. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's about the child. It's about the child. It's about what's in the best interest. And I strongly believe that it should be joint custody on both sides, unless there's some mental health issues and some deeper issues. Then I think that both parents deserve equal time sharing with the child. And I also, to Nicole Renee's point, I also feel that it should be mandatory. It absolutely should be mandatory. If the person has the ability to, it should be, because I feel like spending time with your children does not cost a thing. Loving your children, being there for them, doesn't cost anything. Nothing. Not one dime, okay? Not one dime. Not one single dime. Does anybody else have any questions? Any question? So should there be child support if it's 50-50? Well, I think that what I think, or what the law says. What I think is, no, I think that when you are with your dad, you with your dad going to McDonald's, or your dad, if it's time for you to go on a field trip and you with your dad one week, then your daddy need to pay for that field trip. If you are, whatever it is you got to do, it should be 50-50. I think that when the child is with the mom should be able to provide for the child when the child is with the mom. That's what I think. That's what I think. But when the disparity in income is so different, it does not work like that in the court of law, unfortunately. Sometimes the father has to pay very minimum, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I don't want to say it's fair, but I think that's okay, and I think that's a good, healthy medium. Because I have several cases where we have 50-50 custody, but the father still has to pay some nominal amount. So about like I think 150 is a good sweet spot. I talked to a guy at the barbershop actually, and he has 50-50 custody, and he pays about 125. So if you agree, so let's ask you all, if you have 50-50 custody, do you still believe that there should be 50-50 child support? So should one party have to still pay child support? What do y'all believe? What y'all feel like? No child support, every man and woman for themselves, or if one parent makes more, they should have to pay child support? Let me know. I want to see what y'all think. I want to see what y'all think. No child support. So it should be zeroed out. It can be zeroed out. When he's with mom, he's with mom. With me, when my child is with me, he might have to eat noodles. When he go with his dad, he might get filet mignon. Or next week on my pay week, he might get Chick-fil-A. And then when he with his daddy, he might have cereal over there. Oh, okay, so no child support, no child support. Okay. See, me, I just go. Just go with your daddy. Have a good time. I'll see you when you get back. So another question I do before I go, I do want to ask you all this, because there's been a lot of shifting towards, before, most of the time 50-50 is every other week, okay? So every other week is normally what 50-50 is. Do you guys think that 50-50 can kind of make a child be going all over the place during the, not during the week, but just living? Can you imagine just like being in one hotel for 1 week, and then you got to pick up all your stuff and then go to another place, another hotel the other week? Do you think that's stable, or do you think that the children should split up the month, like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off? So maybe that's the question. How do you feel in terms of structure and stability? Should it be every other week, or should it be every 2 weeks? Hey, Ryan, how are you? Yeah, I agree. Nothing is really ever 50-50 with the child, but I feel like you might catch them on a week, like you may have them on a week where he just got a lot, like it's the book fair, the money got to be loaded back up on his student portal account, there's a field trip that week. I mean, so it varies, and it's going to vary on the week. I feel like one parent may have to bear the cost more at one point than the father. And then how do you determine who should pay more if that's the case? What about medical insurance if mom and dad not together? Well, medical insurance, that's determined by the child support. So that's determined. So if one party doesn't pay child support, not child support, but medical insurance, that is put on the obligees person. So the person who's obligated to pay more, that goes on their share. So that is, again, that may make somebody, even though you have 50-50 custody, that may be the reason why that other parent has to pay child support, because that mother is carrying insurance on their insurance carrier. That was a good question. There should be rooms and clothes that stay at each parent's house. Yeah, I agree. But see, me, I used to think 50-50 was cool, like 1 week on, 1 week off. But as a mother, I feel like I don't know if I want to go longer than a week without seeing my child. But also, most of the time when it's 1 week on, 1 week off, the other parent that is not their week, they get one overnight stay. But I also feel like you just getting into your groove, like on Wednesday. Like if I get over there on Monday, I'm really just getting comfortable like on Wednesday, Thursday, and then come Friday, I got to switch all over again. Or Sunday, I got to switch all over again. I don't know. I think it depends on the age of the child. I think it depends on what's going on in each parent's house during the week as well. But I do think it's the most fair. I definitely think that. This was really good, y'all. I think I like Friday nights. It's super complicated. Super complicated. Super complicated. And that's why it takes so long to resolve these issues. And a lot of times we get stuck. We can agree on child support. It's agreeing on the percentage of time. And I'm just like, just some of these custody battles is like, can we just agree on something? Like, y'all just, can we agree for y'all to get back together, you know? Because even when you're together, it's not 50-50. Like, maybe one parent works more. Then what? What if the dad doesn't have any money while he's with you? Then what? Were you mad then, or were you just in love? Yeah, it just get real complicated after the relationship goes sour. That's why just be married, okay? Just be married. Just be married. And if you're not going to get married, marry the child and get your paternity rights. That's the best thing I can tell y'all. Marry the child, get your paternity rights, establish them, so that once the relationship does go sour, not saying that it should, I hope y'all stay together forever, but if the relationship does go sour, you'll have your paternity rights and you won't be on the defense. You'll be just like, oh, we had a parenting plan back in 2005, okay? We just been staying together, but we've had a parenting plan since 2005. And now since we broke up, she can't just take my child to Michigan or Colorado or San Diego or California, where her new boyfriend is that she met online. Y'all be surprised some of the stories that I hear. Y'all would be surprised. So, but that can happen. And do you know how hard it is to get the child back to Florida? A child that you don't even have rights to? This guy been liking her stuff on Facebook, been telling her she look cute, been commenting on all her pictures, and she in a full-blown relationship with him because you drive trucks and you work all the time. Now she in a whole full-blown relationship, and this man say he want to adopt this child. They finna get married. They want you to give up your paternity rights, but you don't even have none. You don't even have any. You don't have none. Now somebody want to adopt your child. Somebody off the internet. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. So I will see you all next week. That was fun. I love this little talk that we had, this collaborative Free Game Friday this evening. I will see you guys again on next Friday. If you have any questions or topics that you would like to discuss, you can always submit them at www.freegamefriday.com. Remember to share this, comment, like, tell your friends, your cousins, even your baby daddy. Have a good night.